First, it's important to realize that peace is a gift from God. And ultimately, it comes from the sacrifice of Christ on the cross, which brings peace between God and men in a real, concrete way through a new eternal covenant that God ushers into humanity to seek our salvation and to draw us back into right relationship with God. For even if you are in the midst of war, you can be at peace because you're at peace with your conscience before God. But also you can be in the world and in the state of affairs of the world which are at peace, and you could be worried or in panic or confused. For peace is living a life or seeking to live a life primarily in accord with God's law and always having your face turned toward Him. For the only thing that makes for peace is striving to leave sin and to live a holy life by grace and virtue. And worshiping Christ, understanding that this is where all the graces flow to leave sin and to become holy. For who can predict what will come and who can know? But we strive to be at peace before God and know that He is the author of peace, not only in the world, but in our individual souls. What else is there to seek? And whom shall I seek comfort from but the living God, who is present and consoles us with His divine consolation? And this reveals to us how we should console and love one another with that same love and concern which we received from Christ. And this is the peace that consoled Elizabeth, or Saint Elizabeth of Hungary, that she received, that peace that she received. And from receiving this peace from God, she set out fearlessly to do the same for others. Being the daughter of a king, she converted a castle into a hospital. And she sold all her luxurious possessions to serve the poor because she found peace in God and doing His will, responding to this great sacrifice of Christ, which brought peace to her soul and which brings peace between God and men through His sacrifice, and which expresses clearly God's desire for our salvation. She responded, and we must respond as well. In a letter from her spiritual director, he notes, "Before her death, I heard her confession. When I asked what should be done about her goods and possessions, she replied that anything which seemed to be hers belonged to the poor. She asked me to distribute everything except one worn-out dress which she wished to be buried in. When all this had been decided, she received the body of our Lord, and she spoke often of the holiest things she heard in sermons, and as if falling into a gentle sleep, she died. She died at peace, and the peace that only comes from knowing Christ and doing His will in this life."